Tulala, nakanganga.
Pablo released this in time for his latest song, Usad.
A few years ago, almost nobody outside the Philippines believed a Filipino boy group could realistically compete on the global music stage. The international landscape was heavily guarded, dominated by multi-billion-dollar Western pop machines and meticulously engineered K-pop empires. To the average music executive, the idea of a self-made group from Manila breaking through those barriers was not just unlikely. It was viewed as almost impossible. Yet that wall of skepticism has now collapsed. SB19 is no longer simply joining the global music conversation. They are helping shape it. They have broken Billboard records, sold out venues, dominated digital platforms, and earned the attention of international industry leaders. But what makes their rise remarkable is that it was not built by a giant entertainment empire with endless money and connections. It was built through discipline, strategy, creative control, and a bond with fans that the traditional industry still struggles to explain. So how did 5 determined Filipino artists bypass the gatekeepers and create a movement the world could no longer ignore? The answer begins long before the sold-out shows, viral songs, and headlines. For decades, P-pop was treated as a regional market with limited reach beyond Southeast Asia. Before Pablo, Josh, Stell, Ken, and Justin could prove they belonged on international stages, they first had to convince critics, promoters, and even people at home that Filipino pop music deserved to be taken seriously. The early years were filled with doubt. Even when SB19 released polished music and built a loyal audience, critics questioned whether a Filipino group could survive comparisons with the massive systems behind Western pop and K-pop. Every achievement was treated like a temporary surprise. Could they repeat it? Could they grow? Could they last? SB19 answered without arguing. They answered with evidence. Their rise was not powered by one lucky performance or a single viral clip. Streams increased. International listeners multiplied. Overseas fan communities grew. Global media outlets that once ignored P-pop began paying attention. Slowly, the conversation changed. But no movement of this size grows through talent alone. Every successful artist has fans. Yet what SB19 has built with A10 is something far more powerful. Their fandom has become one of the most organized communities in modern music. A10 does more than cheer at concerts or post reactions online. They coordinate streaming campaigns, organize voting efforts, translate updates, promote releases, and activate local teams across countries. When SB19 announces a project, thousands of people already understand how to move together. That organization was built through years of struggle and trust. While many fandoms appear only during comeback season, A10 supports the group year-round. Promoters, labels, and brands notice because that engagement can influence streams, ticket sales, merchandise demand, and international visibility. In many ways, A10 functions like a global marketing force powered by belief rather than payroll. Every movement needs a defining anthem, and for SB19, GENTO became a major turning point. It was not merely a hit, it was an explosion. The rhythm, wordplay, and choreography traveled across social media, inspiring dance challenges from casual fans and international creators. Suddenly, people who had never followed P-pop were asking the same question: who are these performers? But the real surprise came next. SB19 did not allow that momentum to disappear. Songs such as Bazinga, MAPA, and What showed different sides of the group while proving their success was not a fluke. They could deliver intensity, emotion, performance, and cultural identity without becoming predictable. What made those achievements even more powerful was that SB19 never erased their Filipino identity to become more acceptable internationally. They did not simply copy Western trends or follow an established K-pop formula. They wrote from their own experiences and carried Filipino language, emotion, and perspective into the global market. That authenticity became their advantage. In an industry filled with artists trying to sound familiar, SB19 sounded like themselves. They proved that global appeal does not require abandoning your heritage. Sometimes, The very thing the industry considers a limitation becomes the reason audiences remember you. Then came Billboard. Charts create measurable proof. Each Billboard appearance showed that global audiences were choosing SB19's music, challenging old assumptions about how far Filipino music could travel. For SB19, Billboard recognition was not just about rankings, it was validation. It forced international promoters, media platforms, and industry executives to look again. The group was no longer being judged on potential, they were being judged on performance. Those results carried meaning far beyond the 5 members. Every milestone weakened the barriers that had kept Filipino artists outside major global conversations. Every record made the impossible feel more realistic for the next artist watching from the Philippines. But digital success can create an illusion. Trends can disappear overnight, and viral attention can be temporary. The real test comes when fans must spend money, travel, and show up in person. That is why SB19's tours became such important proof. Fans filled major venues, traveled across countries, and created real-world demand. The Philippine Arena, international tour stops, and sold-out performances proved that SB19's influence could move from a screen into a physical space. Streams create interest. Sold-out venues create power. One of the biggest mistakes people make when studying SB19 is assuming the rise happened overnight. It did not. Their breakthrough was built through years of deliberate decisions, constant improvement, and patience. While many artists chase one viral moment, SB19 focused on building something that could survive after the trend ended. They improved their vocals, sharpened their choreography, strengthened their production, and expanded internationally step by step. The most important turning point may have been their decision to bet on themselves. By creating 1Z Entertainment, SB19 took control of their artistic direction, branding, and long-term business strategy. Independence gave them freedom, but it also brought enormous risk. They had to face financial pressure, manage operations, and move through the international industry without a powerful corporate safety net. Yet that risk became one of their greatest strengths. Because the group controls its own vision, the brand feels more authentic and connected to the people behind it. They are not simply performers executing someone else's plan. They are artists building an ecosystem around their own identity. That independence changes the meaning of every success. A strong release strengthens the company they own. A major partnership increases their leverage. A global breakthrough does not only open one door, it gives them the power to build more. This is why SB19's story matters far beyond music. Every barrier they break creates a new possibility for Filipino artists who come after them. SB19 proved that a Filipino act could build an international audience, control its own direction, compete on major charts, and sell tickets across borders without becoming a copy of someone else. Their legacy is not only the records they break or the arenas they fill, it is the standard they leave behind. A few years ago, the idea of a self-made Filipino group becoming a global force sounded unrealistic. Today, that same group is rewriting the rules of what P-pop can become. And perhaps the most powerful part of the story is that SB19 is no longer asking whether the world is ready for Filipino music. They are proving that the world has already started listening.